My name is Matt Wooster, here today to tell you about football. I'm going to go over offense, defense, the schemes to run in certain situations, what plays are good to run in certain situations, and everything like that. A little about myself. I played football for 10 years. Started when I was 8, played up through high school. I played at Central High School all 4 years. I was a 3-year starter on the varsity team. Started as a sophomore. My senior year, in 2007, I played on the Nebraska, the state team. We won state that year. I was also named 2007. I was all Nebraska lineman. So I was pretty proud of that. After that, I had some injuries that I had to take care of, so that's why I didn't go play in college. But I was offered a coaching job for a little league team that I used to play for. Did that for a year, and then in high school, they saw me coach down there, and they offered me a job up there. So I've been coaching up there for 2 years now. So I've been coaching for 3 years now. Enjoy it. It's pretty fun. So it's a little about me. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the demonstration of everything. To start out with, let's start with offense first. When it comes to offense, you have your line, which is your 6 down linemen. Usually you only hear about 5, but it's normally 6. You got your center, your guards here, and then your tackles, and then your 6th one is going to be your tight end. And the tight end usually will line up on the outside of the tackle, on either side. And then depending on the play, depending on what side he's going to line up and where at he'll line up. Because sometimes he can line up in the open, so he just steps out farther, so it looks like a wide receiver, which are the positions that line up on the outside of the play. When you start out with the offense, the first thing you want to start with is the holes. You have to run different plays to different holes. So when you come up to the line, the linemen, they hear a play. There's always a number first. Say somebody says 18 and then a play, or 20 and then a play. That tells them who's getting the ball and where the ball's going. So when you come up to the line, left side is always your odds. So the gap here between the center and the guard is going to be your 1 hole. And then between the guard and the tackle is your 3 hole. Right between your tackle and your tight end will be your 5 hole. And then outside you have your 9. That's just outside everybody. On the right side, you got your evens. So you got your 2, 4, 6 there, and then 8 outside. So if somebody comes up and says, we're going to run to the 2 hole, you know it's going right between the center and the guard. So it just makes it a lot easier to keep track of everything, making sure you know where the ball's going at all times. When it comes up, like I said earlier, you say 18 or 20. The first number in there is who's getting the ball. Second number is the hole. So to look at for the 18, 20, everything, the quarterback will be here. He's number 1. So if we're going 18, the quarterback's getting the ball. He's going outside here. Then you got the fullback right behind the quarterback. He's the 3 back. So if we say like 32, he'll get the ball right up the middle there. And then you got your tailback back here, who is number 2. So that's where the whole 20 comes in. I didn't go over the 20, the 0 hole is right behind the center. Just middle of the field. So if you go with 20, he's getting the ball straight up the middle. So that's a little bit about the gaps and who's the players there. Those are the only ones with numbers. The quarterback, fullback, and tailback. So you got your 1, 2, 3. After that, they get in. There's a lot of different plays you can get into. Usually, most teams, they have the basic plays like this, where you got the 18s, 20s, and 30s. Or you can go 90s and 60s, and those are usually the passes. And then that just tells they come up to, we'll go to the huddle and say 90 go. That's where the receivers that line up on the outside, you'll have a Z here and an X here. That just tells them which side they need to line up on. So you get the Z is always off the line, because if he lines up on the line, the tight end is covered. And when the tight end is covered, he can't go out for a pass. He'll be ineligible. So that's why he always has to stay off the line. So if we go a 90 or a 60, the tight end right here, which is going to be the Y. So if we say 90 Y go, the tight end here is going out for a pattern. So that way we know what's going on up front here. 90s, 60s, linemen pass block, so they can't go more than 2 yards downfield. With that, then you have the receivers. They hear 90s, they're going out for passes. They hear anything like 28, 32, anything like that, they have to stay in and they have to block. Otherwise, if the corners get out, I mean, it's game over for the running back. They can't go anywhere. So that's what it comes down to on the offense. I mean, it sounds complicated, but I mean, once you get out there, it's basically self-explanatory. Everything there. Then we'll get in. Defense is a lot easier than the offense. When you line up in defense, you'll have the line here. Say we go it's the same formation we had. That's the same offense that I had up on the board earlier. When we come out in the defense they come out in when they're in the base, it's called just a pro offense, because you have the tight end up here on the line. It's just it's called a tight 3 is the defense. And that just means we have 2 down linemen. You always have the nose on the backside of the play. The reason why I say it's the backside is because the tight end over here makes this side the strong side, just because they have an extra man over here. Then you have your tackle right on the edge of the guard, your end, your defensive end, head up on the tight end, the other defensive end on the outside shoulder of the tackle. You have your 2 backers over the guards here. And then there's the outside linebackers are called whips and rovers. The whip just stands for the weak side outside linebacker. So he'll be right out here. Rover always lines up strong side. Then you have your corners over the receivers. They're usually at 5 and 1. And when we say 5 and 1, that means they're 5 yards back from the receiver and 1 yard out. So that's what, if you ever hear a coach yelling 5 and 1, 3 and 1, that's just telling them where they need to line up in the play. And then you have your 1 high safety, and he's usually in the middle of the field. With the high safety there, this defense, like I said, is a tight 3 defense. Your 1 high safety, if they come out in any kind of different formation, say they came out in twins here, so you just put another receiver out of there, get the fullback off the field. Your safety, when we run tight like this, he'll jump over and he'll be the high safety over this receiver here. So just in case he goes out for a pass, he's covered. So that's that defense. Usually when in defense is when it gets complicated. When they come out and switch their formations, that's when you need to start switching your personnel. So if they come out, say they got rid of this tight end here. So your defensive end will switch down. You still have your rover out here. But instead of having that 4th defensive lineman, you want to switch and put just a nose there and then have a free safety up here. So you're bringing 2 safeties because they have more guys going out for passes here. It'll be just like this. So you got your 7-man on the line here and your 4 in the backfield. They're all going out for passes. They need to be covered. So you're locking up here. The safety has him. They're locking up, and then these guys are locking up. And that's how you cover it there. So I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, football, it's complicated, but at the same time, it's easy. I mean, the more you're around it, the easier it gets. The more you look at this, Like if you would just see this normal, you wouldn't have any idea probably. But I mean, just that look, the brief demonstration I just showed you. I mean, now you have an idea of, oh, I know what this guy does. I know what this guy does. So I mean, it's pretty basic. It just seems a lot more complicated than it really is. So I mean, just to wrap things up, I mean, offense comes out, they basically go off numbers. Off, like I said, the 28, 30s, and then the 15s, 18s. They go off those, so that basically tells them where they're going, how they need to get there and everything. Defense, it's more, you gotta think more. Because you go off of what they do. So if they line up in a certain situation, you have to get there. And you have to basically follow them. You can't come out and say, all right, you got 28. It doesn't mean anything to them because they don't have gap responsibilities like that. So that's what it comes down to there. So, I mean, all in all, it's pretty easy. Just something you got to be around. The more you're around it, the easier it gets. So, I mean, that's football right there.